Well, hello, good Friday evening, guys. We made it through another week. Welcome, one and all to the show. I, of course, am your happy, humble host, Bill Sylvie, aka the Dungeon Delver. How are you? It's good to see you. It's good to be seen by you, and I hope you are doing absolutely fabulous this evening. I am doing okay. We had a lot of fun last night. We did a movie review, which just kind of turned into something completely other, just kind of rambly chit chat. Hello, Lost War Poodle, or is that Last War Poodle? Last War Poodle. Good evening. That's for Robert Phillips there on request. Haven't heard the intro in a while. You're always late. Well, that's okay. I was late tonight too. And I apologize for that. Sometimes the show starts a little late. Got no control over it. But anyway, I hope you're doing good. Last night, reviewed Spine of Night Exordium. Those wonderful retro fantasy rotoscoped adventure films. You should all check them out. We decided that they were very good. They're worth your time. They're worth your effort. And tonight, we got some Gamma World. We got some first edition Gamma World to play. That's going to be at 9:30 or thereabouts, depending on when the crew arrives. Some folks are already waiting in the green room, and others, I'm sure, are on their way. But that'll happen when it happens. We'll have other stuff to talk about before then. We are creeping up on next week, as I said last night, as I've been announcing. I put the ape in apologize. I think I put the ape in apocalypse. But we'll see about that later. As I have been saying, starting with next Wednesday, there will be a Tuesday show. There will be a Wednesday live stream. There will not be a Thursday or Friday live stream. There may not be a Monday. Well, there definitely won't be a Monday. Probably won't be a Tuesday. There may not be a Wednesday live stream from me because of some things that are going on. Mrs. the Dungeon Delver is going to be under the weather. She's going to be feeling a little unwell those days because she will be recovering from surgery, and I will need to focus all of my attention on that. Can't quite afford that in-home 24/7 care nurse yet. So, yeah, starting next Thursday, there will be no shows. Now, Wednesday, Kyle will be here and he will host Wastrel Wednesdays, and he will do the whole Play Classic Traveler with you guys, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be really enjoyable, and I hope everybody's here for it. But definitely no Thursday and definitely no Friday stream. Almost certainly no Monday stream. Probably no Tuesday stream. So I'm just letting you guys know that in advance. But hey, I'll be back. I will return. And we're here now, right? We're here now. So let's focus on the now. Let us focus on the now and the good things that we've got going on right now. We still have a lot of stuff, courtesy of good old Volcano God, to take a gander at. We're going to look at a little bit of that tonight, forthwith, straight away, soon. And then, as I said, we're going to play some classic Gamma World. So I hope you guys are up for that. Now, I've kind of run out of vintage stuff. I got one or two more vintage things. I have some Neo OSR products. I got a lot of Robert Conley's Wilderlands stuff to show if you guys want to look at that. Not tonight. That's all still. You got to understand, I have 2 3-foot stacks of books out in my den. And back here, you guys have seen maybe a 10th of what I've got back here. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff left to go through. So we can look at the Wilderlands and so on, but I'm kind of coming up to the point where if you're looking for historical RPG material and not just, oh, that's kind of neat, we're going to start hitting the skids. And to be honest, I'm not going to even briefly go through like the 4 or 5 linear feet of 5th edition material that's out there. Okay, because there's too much of it. 2, I'm not going to do deep dives on it. 3, it's just too new. Yeah, I mean, this is stuff you can pick up at your FLGS that only sells the new D&D. Like 5th Ed came out and the 4E books just disappeared off their shelves. That kind of local game store for whatever reason. So yeah, why show you guys what I'm not even going to talk about? Not even to like poke a little bit of fun. And as I said last night, I've said before, I don't hate 5th edition. I can dislike Wizards of the Coast, but as far as the game goes, you know, it's a D&D. It sure is. It's a D&D. And it's like my 4th. It's in 4th place of versions of D&D. I would by preference, of course, play AD&D and then OD&D, and then probably Holmes intro and Moldvay basic. So I guess this would, well, I mean, if we kind of collapsed the basics together, it would be 1. Avidennin was stuck in the laundry room. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So the space that I'm in right now, occasionally I've shown like the entire space, and basically almost like 8 feet from me, directly in front of me, like behind the camera, there's a little step up and then there's a side door that goes into my kitchen. That's because this room that I am in is a garage. On the other side of this wall, there's a space about 10 feet longer that has a rolling garage door, and it's full of the typical stuff. Lawnmower, that's where my resin printer is because toxic fumes, and all that jazzmatazz. I'm not interested in having a garage. I rather prefer having this space. This isn't a den so much as it is an office, man cave, game room, if you will. We have kind of a solarum, 2 big plate glass windows, big plate glass back doors. That's more of a family room, Florida room, den, if you will. So there's that room, but this, you know, I got to share space with a laundry area. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if we moved out of this house someday, a future owner would knock this wall through and just be like, no, this is garage again. Or they might turn this into a family room, right? You know, like, oh, family room, or maybe even a bedroom. Who knows? I don't know. Now you guys know the layout of my house. Anyway, But the point is, I've got piles of books, piles and piles and piles of books. So the bulk of it, we're getting to the point where it's just like, you guys don't care about me. Ooh, Tasha's Book of Everything. Let's talk about the publication history. Let's do a deep dive. Let's not and say we did. Let's not even say we did. So that's not gonna happen. So I'm quickly coming to the end of, hey, we could deep dive this, we could deep dive that. There are a few new games in amongst this that I think you guys might be interested in, but we are rapidly coming to the point where I'm not going to just catalog this stuff for you guys anymore. And to that end, allow me to show you one of the treasures here. I wisely put this stack far away from me. And I think, I could be wrong, but I think there's like a separate map book. I've been saying, I don't have any more. But we'll have to see. Pardon me. I have Tegel Manor. I have a blue cover Tegel Manor here. You can check that out. And for those of you who don't know, Tegel Manor is one of the first mega dungeons ever published. This particular example of it is the second printing. I had the first printing. I had it was an all orange monochrome cover, and the map was like right on the cover. The map wrapped around. It just jumped straight in. There was no preamble, no attempt at art or anything. And this is one that belongs, present tense, belongs to Volcano God. We're definitely doing a deep dive on Tegel Manor, boys and girls, because it is an historical document. I wish I hadn't had to part with a bunch of my Judges Guild stuff, or else I could show you guys anymore. I had Modron. I think CSIO is in this pile. No, City State of the Invincible Overlord. I think there's some stuff. So yeah, if you want a deep dive on Tegel Manor, well, we're going to do a deep dive on Tegel Manor. So there you go. We're going to be going through that. And on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, we have, I don't know if this is the new one. I don't know if this is the brand new one that came out with the release of Cyberpunk 2077, the computer game, which, depending on who you talk to, it's either brilliant or play once and put up and never fart around with again. So let's see. Let's have a gander here, because I have I think this is the GM screen for it. Yeah, this is the Cyberpunk Red. And it looks like good old Cyberpunk, overwrought, too many things to keep track of. So there's the Game Master screen for Cyberpunk Red. Doesn't deserve a deep dive. I'm just saying, there it is. I am slowly building a stack of things I've shown you guys on the floor over here. And one night it's just going to be straight up cask of Amontillado. Yes, Montresor, for the love of God. So here's the core book for Cyberpunk Red. And again, I think this is the new one. How's this looking these days? Kind of like it always had. Mike loves his tables with tabs. This is what I'm talking about. That, but in black and white, is pretty much how Cyberpunk was all the way back in like 1989. So we can look at this. Now I'm going to tell you, I don't know that I'll ever play Cyberpunk again, but I'm going to say this about that. Mike Pondsmith has the best voice of any pen and paper RPG game designer, and we as a hobby don't deserve it. Go look up on YouTube. Any long speeches by Mike Pondsmith should be a music superstar. The guy's voice is incredible. It is this creamy, smooth baritone, just amazing. But he's also a really swell guy. Is that the one where the interior art is mostly photos of dolls and Cyberpunk? No. The G.I. Joe action figures version of Cyberpunk. No, I don't have that. And yes, Mike Pondsmith is a very cool cat to boot. So here we go. And this is a boxed set for Cyberpunk Red, which, believe it or not, a lot of people might not be used to this, or maybe they forgot it. But once upon a time, most tabletop RPGs came in box sets, not in mono-sourced books. First and second edition Call of Cthulhu were box sets. Chill was a box set. Even Twilight 2000 was a box set. But boxes just got expensive. Is there any such good thing as a good IPA? No, there is not. Tonka, I don't believe it's you, but if you'll super chat $20 so I can do a quick ID search, I will confirm it. These are some kind of standees. Oh, there's some dice. The only dice that Cyberpunk uses is D6s and D10s, I believe. I can't recall if that's always how it's been. So we have the contents of the box here. These stands. Now, IPAs are nasty. I do not like the taste of IPAs. Oh, I see. Okay, so they actually give us some punch out little cardstock figures and a map. I guess that's the starting adventure, the world book that kind of fills us in on Pondsmith's creation, and then the rule book, which is very, very slim. Star Wars was the first one without a box. Yeah, I mean, outside of AD&D, James Bond came in a box. Paranoia, Indy Jones. Yeah, they all had boxes. I remember I commented somewhere, I think, so Mark Miller, I think it's Mark Miller. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But the guys who were at GDW, the guys who were at GDW that designed Twilight 2000 basically own Twilight 2000. And they are Far Future Enterprises now. And their website was kind of ramshackle, and this was they weren't really doing drive-through RPG at the time, but you could order a DVD with PDFs of whatever game you wanted packed onto it. And they had like a little guest book. Remember guest books on websites? And I left a comment on their website, and I wasn't pushy. Like I get it, right? I mean, if you've been able to claw back the rights to your creation and you're just holding on to it, that doesn't mean you're some giant publication house that can now move without let or hindrance and just act like it's the 1980s or 90s all over again, right? But I left a comment in the guest book and said, I know you guys can't do it, but gosh, it would be really nice if you could make Twilight 2000 version 1 box sets again. And I got a rather salty comment from, I think it was Mark Miller. I can't remember if it was Mark Miller or if it was Frank Fry, who said, basically to do that, start with like $20,000 to make an appreciable run that you won't break even on. And he was pretty direct. He's like, yeah, no, we're not doing bespoke box sets. Of course, nowadays with print on demand, there's a couple of places. There's a Facebook group, and they have at their fingertips templates for getting boxes printed out for Gamma World, for Holmes Basic, for Moldvay Basic and Moldvay Expert. So if you want to get your boxes remade and you can find someone who will remake them, you can do that. And then someone else said, yeah, there's a few printing services who'll do this for you, like bespoke, one-off versions. And I thought that is amazing and that is wonderful. And I would love to do that for some of my sets, like my Gamma World, for example, or for the version of Basic and Expert D&D I don't have boxes for. That would just kick ass. So it might be a little easier now, but who knows? Who knows? Twilight 2000 is defining fun to mean an interesting way to pass time. It is the I did many months ago, and it didn't work very well, but I did have a tank battle using the Twilight 2000 rules. I had used some of my I don't know if you guys can see them up there. No, you can't. But I have some 1/100th scale armored fighting vehicles that I printed out, and I had a shootout between Soviet forces and American forces. I completely cleaned off the table because at 1/100 scale, this table is about 300 meters across, which in terms of modern tank combat is the equivalent of a knife fight in a phone booth. I mean, most tank guns like 5 kilometers. I'd have to knock down all the walls in my house and set up miniature train. It'd be like Richard Dreyfuss's Roy Neary character in Close Encounters, putting down terrain and everything to do that. But I wanted the vehicles to be visible, so I had a shootout with various Warsaw Pact tanks versus a lone NATO tank, and it ended up essentially a draw. It's gritty, and it's very crunchy. Gritty in that, like, you know, your character can get shot in the head and be lying there bleeding, like you're still alive, but bleeding out and unable to do anything. Kind of like in D&D, when you're reduced to like -1 in combat, and you're slowly bleeding out, and the rest of the players are fighting the monsters, and you want to just blurt out, "Hey, somebody come and bandage me," but you can't. So the man-to-man combat or taking wounds because you're in a vehicle that gets hit is very gritty. It's very crunchy. There's a lot of math going on. It is not like, okay, roll 2d6. You got a 7 or better to hit. Oh, I rolled a 10. Okay, that's now roll a 12 for your location. That's a 3. Okay, that's right turret front. Roll a d10. You damaged the 7 and we move on. No. There's so many more steps in the vehicle combat rules. It's almost like GDW said, combat's something to be avoided. So we can, we can, I was talking about Twilight. We can look at Twilight 2000 again someday, but probably not. That is brutal. And I paid like $4 and change for a half pound of butter today. Whatever 4 full-size sticks in a brick from Land O'Lakes is, whatever weight that is. And I was like, that's expensive. Why didn't they just look at Gamma World to base the mechanics of Twilight 2000 on? Probably because they were owned by different companies, and TSR was already suing GDW at that time. That's almost exactly why. And Twilight 2000 doesn't have vehicle mechanics in it unless they added it later on. All right, so that goes in the Twilight or the Cyberpunk Jumpstart set. I have a couple of other things over here to show off, and then I'll just kind of ratchet my jaw for a little bit. Let me see. I don't know what this is. So this is by Free League. They're the company that makes Things from the Flood, Tales from the Loop, the Aliens RPG, and interestingly, the 4th version of Twilight 2000. Not enamored of their version of Twilight 2000, by the way. Don't care for it. I like Free League in general, but not this. They've got a Blade Runner RPG coming out, which I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know how that's going to work. But anyway, but this is called Vazen or Vazen. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. And this is A Wicked Secret and Other Mysteries. Journey to the mythic north and investigate 4 bone-chilling cases that will test your abilities to the fullest. This book contains 4 standalone mysteries for Vaesen, the Nordic horror role-playing available on their own or as part of a longer campaign. I think I have that game is somewhere in the stack. Let's see. The Silver of the Sea, the death of a preacher leads the characters to the rocky Western archipelago where something strange is afoot on Wrecker Isle. A Wicked Secret. Sounds like the name of a romance novel. Travel to the deep forests of northern Sweden and investigate rumors of a murderous beast in a remote village. What ancient evil lurks there? The Night Sow. Welcome to the beautiful Mole, a city by the sea, known to many as the heart of sin, and now also for cold-blooded murder. Song of the Falling Star, a cursed child, a strange instrument, and a desperate aristocrat. Travel to Arnesburg on the island of Oisel and discover the horrible truth about what happened there. So Yeah, horror fantasy, Call of Cthulhu-ish, I'm guessing. Dismal. And it looks actually fairly lightweight. Like this is, you think, oh, okay, there's a book that thick, must be pretty densely packed. No, it uses a really large font, really spaced out. I mean, I'm not sure how well it would show up on the screen, but this actually looks kind of lightweight. Blade Runner will work as well as Indiana Jones, another Harrison Ford RPG. Well, I think RPGs based on movies don't work for a couple of reasons. Primarily, if you're playing Indiana Jones, if you're not Indiana Jones, you're some guy whose face might get melted off. Are you going to sit around and be captured while Indiana Jones does something to rescue you? And if none of that is going to happen, why use Indiana Jones at all? I mean, Indiana Jones ostensibly does 3 things, many of which never make the newspapers, right? I mean, at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, there was no, Jones recovers Lost Ark from Nazis, or, Temple of Doom, university professor frees village from thuggy terror. We didn't get any of that. So you're honestly better off just using Call of Cthulhu or Hero System or any other thing you can think of. And then finally, the last thing I'm going to show you guys here, because it's what I can reach, it's what I can bend over and pick up off the floor, is 5e Adventures in Middle-earth. Now, this, speaking of not being the centers of the story, I know a lot of people swear by Iron Crown Enterprises MERP. God, this is another one that just looks like there's nothing printed on the pages. I know a lot of people swear by MERP. I know people who got huge MERP collections back. I'm sorry, Middle-earth roleplay. And of course, we've all of us, since we were little kids, known that of the many layers of color and texture in Dungeons and Dragons, that Middle-earth, Tolkien's works, is one of them. I don't care how much Gary pushed back on that. Like, no, I like Conan and the works of Fritz Leiber and Jack Vance and so on. Gary, you wrote a ton of stuff for Middle-earth fanzines in the late 60s, okay? I think if the Tolkien estates hadn't sued TSR over the Battle of Five Armies and the inclusions of Ents, Balrogs, and Hobbits, I think Gary would have been a lot more sanguine about his inclusion of those elements in Dungeons and Dragons. I really do. So you would think that finally someone releasing a role-playing game about Middle-earth that can be tied directly into D&D, it would have been huge. Particularly these days, where a lot of people who, without Lord of the Rings movies, probably never would have heard of it. I hate to say that. But honestly, this didn't raise a single eyebrow. I mean, wouldn't you think that the most popular pen and paper role-playing game ever created, Dungeons and Dragons, having a Lord of the Rings game released for it, that would have just exploded across the hobby. That would have been titanic news. People would be all abuzz about finally playing D&D in Middle Earth. And it until I saw this in the haul of stuff that I got from Volcano God, until I saw this in his collection, I completely forgot about it. So make of that what you will. Make of that what you will. But there's essentially there is essentially nothing out there as far as press buzz about a Lord of the Rings RPG. I mean, how many have there been since 2000? I have what was it? I think this is the third one since the early 2000s. So that's 4 completely separate and different role-playing games for the Lord of the Rings. And none of them have had any staying power. So I don't know, man. I don't know. MERP is Robert Phillips says MERP is a rough system. 2 orcs can decimate a party of 5, and it'll take 5 sessions to resolve. Remember, it's Rollmaster. You scratch the surface of MERP, and there's Rollmaster under there. And those of you who've been listening in on live streams, and Kyle and I have talked about Rollmaster. Rollmaster, ROLL, Rollmaster, Rule Master, Rule Bastard. It is a ponderously slow system. Although I will say I thought it was rather amusing. Iron Crown kind of edged a little bit towards making MERP at least superficially D&D compatible by saying, oh, and if you're using a role play system that uses a 3-die-6 method, do this. And we knew they were talking about AD&D because nobody else did that. Jack says, would we have had Greyhawk as we know it if we got a Lord of the Rings supplement? I mean, probably. Gary liked his own stuff. You know? Now, if they had gotten Tolkien Enterprises, Saul Zaentz, Christopher Tolkien, J.R.R. had passed away 1 year before Dungeons and Dragons was released. But if they'd gotten all of those people had just simultaneously decided to say, yes, tiny hobby company in Wisconsin, USA, you may publish a role-playing game using our IP. Would Gary have set aside all of his own stuff to make a supplement? Or would we have gotten supplement 5, supplement 6, The Lord of the Rings for OD&D, and then later more serious inclusion in AD&D 1E? I don't know. I do know this. I have always felt that, and this is why, like, when I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes, but people whose first experience to AD&D was starting late with something really weird like Dark Sun or Spelljammer or I was going to say one other one, and I'm drawing a blank. Planescape, you know, starting with really weird, far out there systems. And it's a bit of a head scratcher to me because when I grab an AD&D book and I read, and maybe this is personal bias, but I very much feel the Greyhawk just feels baked in. Like, Gary never said it, but it always felt like the default way the game works. So to me, even first edition Forgotten Realms and first edition Dragonlance is like such a mutation on how AD&D is. And so I wonder, and you bring up a really good point, Jack. If they had, through whatever means, been able just to say, okay, well, they are hobbits, and here in the monster manual are stats for Smaug and Tom Bombadil and so on and etc. Would AD&D still feel the same to me? Would I still feel that the default is Greyhawk? Or would I view AD&D as the Lord of the Rings system? And I don't really have 100% good answer for that. I don't know. But I am going to say this. I am going to bring this up because Jax, you're saying just as Waterdeep displaced Greyhawk, Middle Earth might have eclipsed the production dollars. It eclipsed as the production dollars were focused on the money. This is straight from someone who worked at TSR, and I want to find this. I mentioned this before, but I think it merits mentioning again. Hopefully, I can find this without too much trouble, because I don't really want to be bothered with signing in. Here, let me see. Unfortunately, Google's a little better at this. Bear with me just a second, guys. How and why can I not get to this farging thing? Because I actually have a quote here that is salient to I think that's just going to do the same thing. There we go. Okay. It is salient to the comment about the overtaking. Lisa Stevens, who works for Paizo or worked for Paizo back in the day, somebody was. There are people who are going to tear down classic D&D at any opportunity. It still goes on today, and it drives me up the friggin' wall. But what are you going to do for people whose lives are on web forums, right? There is no cure. So this person said, and I don't know what this was in response to, but I'm not gonna say their name. Just because I don't want to give him 5 minutes of fame. But this was over on the Paizo boards, and this was picked up and quoted back onto Knights and Knaves. Or perhaps the fact that Greyhawk doesn't sell. Don't get me wrong, I like Greyhawk too, but when compared to the incredibly successful franchises Forgotten Realms, Eberron, or even the ordinary supplements that WotC puts out, Greyhawk cannot even carry a torch. Lisa Stevens, the Greyhawk brand manager at WotC, well, I can tell you, as the last person who was the Greyhawk brand manager at WotC, the Greyhawk sold almost as well as Forgotten Realms. It was a really successful line of products. When we started 3rd edition, the manager of D&D at the time decided that we had too many campaign settings, so Greyhawk got put off to the side in favor of Forgotten Realms. It had everything to do with not starting the proliferation of game settings and nothing to do with sales, just for the record. So there you go. And that's not even going back to TSR. That's not saying, like the Disco Stew shows the graph, popularity of disco, and it stops in 1976. This is someone talking who was there back in the day, back in the day of 2003 to 2004. So there you go. I've never bought. Well, Forgotten Realms was vastly more popular. No, it really wasn't. And one of the reasons that TSR felt compelled to return to Greyhawk and keep updating the setting was because there were plenty of people willing to spend their coin on it. So your mileage may vary, but it's right there in black and white. You can check out the comment from her yourself over at Knights and Knaves, to quote the cartoon, but please don't believe me. If you want to see it. I don't know if those links to the Paizo boards still work. But if you want to see it, there it is. The power of Greyhawk compels you. Yes. And I think you can make a good campaign setting out of anything. I honestly feel you can do that. There's some stuff that's a little too weird for my tastes. Someone was gushing to me about the infernal weirdness of Dark Sun, and people still do. And I'm just like, I get it, man, but that just doesn't scratch my itch. I just, you do you, man. Go right ahead. So I just kind of feel like it's not really for me. It's not really for me. So yeah, I mean, to go all the way back to kind of jump way back to what you were saying earlier, Jack. I don't know. That's a hell of an interesting question. If TSR, if they had gotten tacit approval from the Tolkien estate to put their own material into D&D, again, stats for Smaug, stats for Tom Bombadil, free mention of the Shire, Middle Earth, Numenor, Harad, the Eastern Waste, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Would that have overshadowed everything? And would AD&D and OD&D before it have become known as the Lord of the Rings role-playing game. I mean, we'll never know. We will never know. As far as an official campaign setting, I tend to use the maps, like the Greyhawk maps, the city locations, and the general political spheres. Yes. I like the classic modules also. But as far as like getting a newsletter from Wizards of the Coast that says, oh, well, we gamed it out and the Duke of so-and-so died and the orc armies of such and such overran his kingdom, so update your campaign map. Somebody like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not adhering to that, because that's not me. That's not my jam. I will use the maps, the place names as a framework, and all of the classic modules, but I'm not going to get into following a story, which really is what made the Greyhawk box set and folios so awesome. They didn't give you a story to follow. They just gave you some hooks to potentially use. Yeah, we were just before you got here, we were talking about that, because there's Adventures in Middle Earth now, which is an official 5th edition D&D product, but nobody cares. If TSR had somehow won through and released an official Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Middle Earth role-playing game, it would have been Titanic news. That guy over there, that's Chow Yun Fat, actor and all-around swell guy. And speaking of swell guys, oh my God, we have got everybody is in the house tonight. So we got some Gamma World happening tonight, guys. But before we do that, why do I have a giant teenager? I don't know. I don't know. I think he's a cool actor. It's just a bare wood door otherwise. And it's too small for my Blade Runner poster. I got a Blade Runner movie poster in a tube over there. Good Lord, everybody is there. To administer this, personally, I don't like a movie or novel RPGs because that world has its story. Yeah. Thank you for placing me in my 40s. I do appreciate that. I'm a couple of years older, but well, I'll tell you the story briefly, and then I gotta we gotta do the thanks to, and then we gotta start this lovely chaotic Gamma World game tonight. My mother-in-law worked at a pre-press agency, and they made up all these promo posters. I love Chow Yun Fat in all of John Woo's stuff. I mean, come on, the killer, hard-boiled, once a thief, a better tomorrow, a bullet in the head. Just the list just goes on. And of course, his stuff in the West is equally awesome. So she knew I liked Hong Kong action theater, and they had tons of these left over from the press promotional stuff. And so she's like, oh, I was like, that's pretty cool. So there it is. So my thoughts on movie tie-in RPGs and so forth is this. I think with the right ones, it works. But some of them, I mean, again, Indiana Jones is a perfect example of one that doesn't work. If you're not Indiana Jones, you're not Indiana Jones, you know? Ghostbusters is one that absolutely works. There's much wackiness to be had slinging around a proton pack, you know, burning giant holes in the sides of expensive buildings. Star Trek, I mean, Starfleet has it's in the name. It says so on the tin. Starfleet. We can put you in a Reliant class ship and send you in a completely different direction and have adventures on strange new worlds, seek out new life and new civilizations, and boldly go, and so on and etc. Boldly go where no dangling participle has dangled before. But yeah, in Star Wars, you're a Jedi or you're a scrub. It's kind of like psionics in AD&D. It's like, oh, Dungeon Minister has psionics. I guess we'll sit back while you mind blast everything. You done? Okay. But I kind of, I tend to view Blade Runner as a closed loop. Blade Runner tells a story of what it is to be human, to be so desperate to cling on to life and to try and just hold on. Till I could literally just tell the Gamoral group to go away and just talk about Blade Runner until midnight, but I'm not going to do that. Don't worry, Gamoral group. I just don't like that. That's not a thing that I want to explore on the tabletop. You know, I think if you want to play a gritty cyberpunk role-playing game, play Cyberpunk. Play Cyberpunk Red or Cyberpunk 2020. So that's just my feeling on movie tie-in RPGs. I can talk about them more later, but I got to take a minute. I do have to take a minute, because I want to thank the folks who help out around here. We do have Patreon and Subscribe Star. And if you want to leave a tip, and I only did this because somebody asked me, it's like, hey, I just want to tip you. Can I just tip you via PayPal? And can you put that up? So yes. But for those of you that choose to, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And so I say thank you to Joshua Garlock, Lord Corion, Ricky Maru, Mobius, Kevin Reynolds, Doomsword Deathmaster, Mark Simpson, Damien247, James F. Keck, William Smith, The Dungeon Minister, Manny Wall, Mark Corey, Kevin Wood, with whom I have actually played MERP, Todd Sharp, Carnivore Farmer, Rob Knows I Can't Say That, Jeremy Rule, Bo Ganora, Mikey Mank, the Sky Hernstrom. Yes, this Sky Hernstrom. And Pete Sullivan, thank you all very much. And thank you to everyone. We are currently sitting at 1,245 subs. The channel has 1,245 subs. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I was looking at, now I've refreshed it. Okay. 1,250 subs. And what does 1,250 subs mean? Well, we're an eighth of the way to 10,000 subs. If my channel ever gets 10,000 subs, I will have a real life in-person gaming convention. I'll find a venue. I'll figure out a fair laminate or whatever price, and we'll do it. And we're an eighth of the way there. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Oh, all of you go subscribe to Dungeon Minister's YouTube channel also, please. Get him up to 1,000 subs. But if you're just stopping by, if this just kind of got chummed up from the dark depths of YouTube and suggested to you, and you're seeing this for the first time, please click on that subscribe button and click that bell icon for notifications. If you like what you see, leave a thumbs up. If you don't like what you see, give it a thumbs down. But please tell me what you don't like, or even what you do like, because that way I'll know to do more or less. Yes, of course, Yang. I mean, that's, I think that goes without saying. If I'm alive, I'll volunteer for it, for your con if it isn't too far. Well, we'll see. We'll see. So, yeah, thank you to everyone who helps out in that respect, and everybody who subscribes to the channel. It's awesome. I have such an awesome crowd, and we're not going to veer off like we did last night, but you guys are fantastic. You really are. You really are. And I thank every one of you. This is our hanging out time, our fun time. This is what we do. I invite you guys over, and we sit around the game room, and we play AD&D, and we play Traveler, and we play Gamma World, and we talk about role-playing games, and occasionally other stuff. Oh, John David. Last night was a good one. I recommend last night's video. It was a good one. We talked about a lot of stuff, not game related. Anyway, speaking of games, they're rioting in the back room. I just looked back there. They've thrown the craft services table over. It's terrible. So I better get them out on stage before they do more damage. Let me welcome Tonka Todd as Jammy Dodger, James F. Keck as Christopher, Rex Dashington in his gleaming powered armor.
Hello.
And there's a stranger, Barongo. Greetings.
Hello.
Milo, welcome back. And let's see. Somebody's yelling at me to plug the Discord over in chat. So yes, fine, I will plug the Discord. Yes, we have a Discord channel.
And it is awesome.
It's a Discord channel. It is neither awesome nor terrible. I leave the awesomeness up to whether or not people want to want to interact with. And let's see. And greetings, Numbers Rab.
Hello.
All right. So are you guys ready to engage in a little bit of some classic Gamma World?
Let's do this like Brutus.
All right. Well, that's the kind of enthusiasm we love around these parts. I got more guys here for Gamma World. I think this is a first. I got more folks playing Gamma World tonight than I have had at max playing the Tuesday night AD&D game. So that's pretty awesome. All right. So last week, you had all, under the direction of your ostensible leader, Rex Dashington, gone out to the far perimeters of your stronghold on Earth after losing some beloved friends as they sacrificed their lives and your bubble car to stop an ancient weapon of mass destruction from obliterating the base and almost certainly Goodwater in the process. So these new greenhorns, the Rex Dashington has kind of mothered out in the wilderness, have recently, you fought off some batters. And they, dust settles. What are you all doing now? We'll just go down the line. What is Jammy Dodger doing?
I am amazed at the fact that I lived.
Okay.
Chris is going to be looting the bodies.
Alrighty. How about Rex? You're watching your young flock here. What are you doing?
He is going to shake his head and say to himself, "So much work to do."
Okay. How about Barongo?
Bronco's gonna say, "Wow, what the hell happened here?"
Milo.
Milo's still broken up about Gerg.
Okay. And what about Numbers?
Yeah, he just looks around silently, pondering something.
Okay, so I believe it was Christopher who is looting bodies.
Yes.
All right, and there are 4 batters that you fought.
Come on, loot that body like a champ.
You find 6 domars and 1 gold piece on the first one.
Ooh.
6 domars and 5 pieces of gold on the second batter.
Wow.
7 domars and 2 gold pieces on the third. 5 domars and 3 gold pieces on the fourth.
Sweet.
And they are armed with spears and swords.
Okay. I'll take one of the spears.
Alrighty.
I'll walk over there and take one of them swords.
Yeah, I'll take a sword too.
Okay.
If there's an extra one, Rex will take it. An extra sword.
Is that a long sword or short sword?
They are long swords.
Excellent.
Yeah, the batters were almost using them like bastard swords. You know, they could use them with one hand or with 2 due to their stout size. But for you, it's just a good long sword. So you're in the ruin of a building, and I mean, it's fairly clear from the outside that there's no like sub basement with bioweapons lab or nuclear reactor. And most of the windows are blown out approaching this place. You can see it from miles around. You can see up onto the floors, and you suspect that it is a long picked over building, but you can explore it if you wish to.
Chris is waiting on orders from the masterful Rex Dashington.
All right, guys. This is going to be your life from here on. Life and death. Protecting the colony. Let's move on and explore more areas.
All right. Well, it is early evening, and where you're at borders a forest that is little explored by members of your colony and of the stronghold. I mean, the stronghold's really only been established for a few weeks. If you remember, I mean, the Knights of Genetic Purity who held on to the place didn't do much more than fortify it and make it into just an armed and armored box in the side of a hill. But what of yourselves? What are you guys going to settle in for the evening or what?
Sounds good to me. Probably need to get a little rest. We did take a few points of damage.
Okay.
Well,
Nothing
y'all,
but
y'all
plants.
did.
Bad plants come out at night.
Yeah, y'all took damage. Jamie Dodgers is too good looking to get hit.
Yeah, Rex isn't seeing the problem here. Gen Triple Z.
That took me a second there. I'm like, so, oh, right.
Oh, how I missed the Triple X generation. They were fun.
I am with that. Okay. So you are settling in for the evening. Was that the decision or what? You tell me.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agreed.
Okay. Is anyone going to stand watch? Let me ask you that.
Take first watch. You always gotta have a watch. Evil plants are out.
Come on,
Yeah, I'll take a watch.
what's a handful of sand spurs being forcibly teleported into your body? Okay, so
You guys rest. Take it easy. I got this. But I will be kicking somebody in a few hours.
alrighty. Sorry, for some reason the PDF of the rules always gives my gives my PDF reader fits. It's like I gotta. Okay. Really, the night passes uneventfully. The wind in the trees is kind of comforting. It's just sort of the occasional faint rustle.
Before my watch comes to an end, then I guess I stoke the fire and go wake up. Who's taking second watch?
Okay.
Numbers
Well,
and taking.
I'm just saying over the course of the entire evening. Over the course of the entire evening, there's nothing nothing as far as any encounters. The morning dawns, the sun rises, it's comfortably warm. At least the weather hasn't turned bad. There's no radiation storms or such. You guys can explore deeper in the woods. You can check out the building. You can whatever you wish to do.
I wonder if there's an elevator in this building.
Every time we check the building out, we wreck something.
Ooh, let's go check the building.
Absolutely.
I will tell you directly, there are only stairs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, guys, back to the stairs. So Rex will start heading off the stairs.
Okay.
Chris falls in line behind Rex. He's looking up to him as a role model since he's one of the sole survivors of the main group.
Alrighty.
Jimmy
Awful,
falls
Dale.
in, looking wonderingly at his new longsword, thinking, "Man, I look even cooler with this."
I just shake my head a little bit and be like, "Oh, it's gonna be a bitch on the way back up."
No, the stairs go up, not down. They go up.
Both ways in the snow.
Yeah. No, the stairs only go up. You go up, and they're not behind you anymore.
Do we fall up the stairs?
Sure.
It happens. I've seen it on TV.
Man, that's the worst.
So Rex
Can
is
the
going
Benny
to.
Hill music play as we fall up the stairs?
Rex is going to say to the new recruits, guys, in these situations, you have to be like our departed Gurg. He never once uttered a word of complaint about stairs.
Scream in my brain from time to time.
He didn't like elevators, though. He really didn't.
He was a little iffy on escalators.
Okay, so after the ground floor, there are 8 floors. You're at the first floor landing. Are you looking for anything in particular? Are you just going to walk around room to room?
Just looking around, I think, just room to room.
Room. Checking
And I mean-
on what we got.
To be sure, the
Where's Betty?
oh, she's back at the stronghold. She's through process of her artificial intelligence growing every day. She is increasing both her medical skill and her bedside manner.
Oh, nice.
You have stepped on a rusty nail, you lunkhead. Please lie down and allow me to apply antibiotic.
Her hands are so
Somebody-
cold.
Yeah. Let's see.
Jimmy's going to raise his hand and look. Definitely has a question on his face, looking at our fearless leader.
Yes.
When did this happen? Where was I?
Actually, I think he was in the back seat of the bubble car.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I thought he was dead too.
Yeah.
He hid behind a rock.
My question for our fearless leader is, since this looks picked over, could we speed up our time by splitting up into 2 3-man teams?
Yes, splitting the group is often a wise decision in these situations.
It's easiest to have them in bite-sized chunks.
Yeah. Remember to call out if you see something horrible. The party's alarm is, "Oh my God, crunch, crunch."
And Rex will give them some instructions on how to, that he remembers from vids of the ancients, about how to like kick in doors and 2 people, check the room and clear it.
The lower floors on this building are so degraded that they're open to the elements. It's just there's literally like 6 concrete walls. Otherwise, they're giant open rooms, and the sides are open to the outside. Daylight is streaming in. There's no doors to kick in.
That's why we're practicing on the easy building, guys.
It's all practice for later. Check the next floor.
Jimmy
you ever have to go
Dodger
to the
is
moon.
smooth Captain Kirk rolling.
Okay.
We must go to the next floor.
All right. So it's I mean, the only thing on this floor are literally like crumbled bits of masonry and like leaves and detritus. That's it.
Place is a dump.
But you do have other floors you can go up.
Let's try
Alright.
the next one.
Let's go, guys.
After you, fearless leader.
All right, follow me, and he'll start like pumping his knees. Up two, up two, up two.
He's in power armor, so it's. It occurs to you that he could walk for about 20 hours, which conveniently enough is about how long you can go in your powered armor. Did you bring a spare battery with you, by the way? You've been away about 10 hours now.
I have a battery somewhere.
Okay.
I have
The
one in
warning
my
light's supposed to
inventory.
come on.
Didn't we leave that on the bubble car?
I think he carries one with him.
Oh, okay.
All right, that's fine.
But I think it lasts like 56 hours or something like that. I have to double check.
We'll double check it then. Handle it, Roy. Handle it.
Oh, but the book's way over there.
Third floor is slightly more intact. Let's see. Do you know that Zeeth and Sleeth sound a lot alike?
Yeah.
Okay. Third floor, kind of the same, a little bit more intact. There's most of a door still hanging in a frame if you guys want to go over and each practice kicking it in.
Oh, there you go. Kick it in.
Jimmy
There's a
Dodger
desk
just-
behind that
Just
door.
takes a running leap and tries to hit the door with a very cool looking kick.
You hit the wall with a very cool looking kick.
That was good try. That was good first try. Now go back to the line. Next.
Chris will try to shoulder the door open. He's got.
Oh, you're just trying to put, give me an open doors roll. Then we'll do it D&D style.
Is that D6?
Yes, sir.
I got a 2.
Yeah, it's crooked and the hinges are twisted and so on and etc. But you put your shoulder against it and it grinds open, and you're now looking into the room that you could have walked 3 meters in either direction and stepped through holes in the walls to be in, but you did successfully open it.
You got it open, but you didn't get any style points. That's for
He
sure.
entered in his idiom.
Idiom, sir.
Okay. Look around the room then.
The very, 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 very old remains of someone clearly had a fire in some kind of square metal container. His original purpose is lost to the ages because it's mostly collapsed into rust. And that's otherwise it.
Yeah, I don't know what we're going to find on this floor either, guys. I think we should keep going.
Guys, this clearly was a temple, and they had burnt offerings here.
Okay, the fourth floor is a little more intact, but not by much. Still no windows. Outer walls are blown in. There's a few more doors for you to practice on if anyone wants to make an open doors attempt on any of them.
I don't know, fellas. Knock yourself out, but I don't know. I think we're wasting our time here.
Literally knock yourself out. Well, I mean, we're here. We got to at least look, right?
Yeah.
I'll try to push the door open. The first door, whichever one that is.
All right, well, roll a d6.
All right. Let me do that. Got a 2.
Okay, yeah, it slowly grinds open, and there's a table that is so old and so just so rotten with age and the elements. It's almost concave. Other than that, nothing. Yep,
Yeah.
nothing at all.
There's really not anything
this is
left
the
for-
top
for
floor
us
now?
Here.
Oh no, you guys are up on the 4th floor at this point.
Oh, okay.
How many floors does it have?
7.
Eight.
didn't he?
Eight. 8 total. Well, there's the ground floor, and then there's 8 above that, so 9, I should say. 9 stories.
9, sir.
All right. Senzang. He's got the power suit. Come on, Rex. Open
All
some
right.
doors.
Show us how
Make
it's
it look
done.
easy.
Guys, let me show you how it's done. And he'll turn the knob on a door.
I mean, you literally are you using just like casual strength to try and gently, or are you just grabbing it and
I'm
twisting
trying to
it?
do it gently to indicate to them that not everything is complicated.
Yeah, you can get the tactile feedback in the gauntlets for this thing. You can definitely tell the wood is splintering. Like if you push this thing even a little bit hard, you're just going to tear the knob out.
And I'll do whatever needs to be done to open this door. I can't lose face in front of the men.
Okay, yeah, you.
Just walks through it.
In your power armor, it's like if you as an adult were breaking through a door made of rotten cardboard.
See you guys.
Wow.
Couple of there are rectangles hanging on the wall, and there are just a few strands of brightly colored, well, not even brightly colored, rather faded, just wire just hanging out of them. Scraps of detritus on the floor.
Do we need
Watch out,
wire
because
back at
detritus
base?
can be dangerous.
What's hiding in this detritus?
I think Betty can cure detritus now.
I only regret I didn't get cured of bonitis. Well, let's. I want to go take a look at the square thing with the faded color. Whatever.
It's like wiring harnesses hanging out of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Whatever purpose this piece of electronics served, you're not at all sure. But it's it just it's just junk. I mean, maybe somebody could use the wires for something back at your stronghold, but
You can use it as a flail. I'm gonna look at it with my ultravision. Is there any energy behind the box?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Not much else.
Back
To
to the
see it.
stairwell.
Okay, so all right. So the next as you're heading up the next floor, so it's Rex is on point, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I figure.
Okay. As you round the stairs in the stairwell going up to the next floor, Rex, you see a reptilian head ducking out of an opening onto the next floor. And as soon as it sees you, it's like startled, but you're more startled. and it pulls back, and you hear flap, 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 through the building.
Whoa! Did you guys see that?
Did we see it?
Well, Rex was in the lead, and his armor at the shoulders is almost a meter wide, so probably not.
See what's there?
There was a really big iguana. I want you guys to go catch it. And he'll point towards the direction it went.
Chris grips his spear and he starts heading towards the direction that Rex is directing us in.
I just look at Rex. I'm like, you meant blast him, right?
You know, whatever. We're roughing it. We need to find food for the evening. It's protein, guys.
Jimmy's going to, in a very heroic manner, flourish his new longsword and follow behind the others to go catch his lizard.
One gecko stew coming right up, sir.
For the Dairy Queen.
You can save 15% or more in 15 minutes.
All right, so the next floor, the sides are still open to the elements, but there's enough walls intact in here that you are immediately in some kind of an enclosed room. It's maybe 3 meters on a side. There is an opening, not a door, opposite where you came in off the stairs landing.
So when you say opening, it's like there's a hole over there?
It's where a door was. It's like a doorway, but there's no door.
Chris is going to kind of prod the ground ahead of us. Sorry. Chris is going to try to prod the ground ahead of us with his spear to kind of make sure there's nothing's going to trip us up or cause us to fall through the floors.
No, it is solid.
Okay. Motion for someone to move forward.
Jimmy will come in and take the left wall.
Okay.
I'll follow behind.
Yeah, I got my laser rifle up and out.
All right. And you also notice there are a few overturned heavy boxes that they're very rusted. It looks like someone has tried to pry them open, but none have succeeded. So,
do they have any markings on them?
No, they're rusted and tarnished to the point where it's impossible to tell what they might have been labeled with.
Our current objective is to get the lizard, so Chris is going to ignore it for now and move forward with the rest of the crew.
Okay.
Yeah, me low too. Laser rifle pointed first. Leading the way.
Jamie Dodger's putting up his sword and getting his short bow.
And Rex will go in behind them with his rifle, just in case it's needed.
Okay. There is a very short hallway. There's a closed door immediately across from the doorway you just stepped through. To your left, about 4 meters down, is another doorway with no door. And to your right, it looks like it goes about 10 meters and daylight is streaming in. And it's a little blinding because you're going from dark to light, but you think there are similarly matched openings down near the opening to the outer building, or to the outside, rather.
Oh, boys, more practice.
Are there any tracks like in the dust or anything of the room showing where this thing might have went?
That's a good question. Let me see here. Give me a roll on your let's see, it wouldn't be wisdom. I think it would be mental strength. Give me a D20 roll and compare it to your mental strength.
Got a 16 mental strength.
What is your? Yeah, no, you don't see any.
Okay.
Okay, what do?
We've lost his trail, sir. Which way should we proceed? Looking at Rex, of course.
Rex will sigh disappointedly. I feel like maybe you guys should run up and down the stairs all night until you think about this failure. But all right, let's. So there's still that other door, right?
Yeah, there are 1, 2, 3. There are at least 2 doors you haven't explored. You're in a hallway. There's a door to your left about 3 meters down. There's a door immediately across from you, or an opening immediately across from you. And then as your eyes have adjusted, you can now see about maybe 5 meters down towards the right. There is a pair of doors, one on either side of the hallway, much as the doors you're standing near.
All right. So new guys, let's take that door closest to us on the left.
Chris readies his spear and begins marching towards the door.
I love new guys.
Jimmy has his short bow with an arrow knocked and is walking behind him.
I guess I'll have my laser pistol out since that's all I have shots for.
Alrighty. Okay, this room appears to butt up against the central core of this building. There are no obvious exits out of it, and other than stale smelling air and bits of trash, ancient junk, there doesn't appear to be anything in here.
Okay, I will call back. Clear, sir.
All right.
No
Next
lizards.
door.
Move to the next door.
I'll follow behind him with short bow.
Okay, so heading back out, then that would be the door that was immediately across from where you came onto this floor at.
Lizard-sized holes in the walls?
No, the walls here are fairly intact. There are cracks and places where the ancient construction material is sagged and buckled, but here you gotta go through the doorways.
All right.
Once we get to the door, Chris will put his ear up to it and listen.
Okay. You don't hear anything.
I'll look at everybody, kind of shrug, and I'll reach over and try to turn the doorknob like the brave Rex Dashington did before.
First try, it seems stuck, but you can certainly attempt again.
Okay, I'll do it again.
This time, you push down hard enough, there's a click, and it seems to give way a little bit under your pushing.
Okay, now I'm going to back to the side and use my spear to push it open and let Jamie be ready with his bow just in case.
I got you, brother.
Okay. This room has more stuff in it than you've seen in any room before. There is an antechamber just beyond it with a counter that runs its entire length, but the chamber you're in has 4 sagging tables, and there are a few skeletons lying on the floor in here. They're kind of scattered everywhere. I say skeletons, it's more like there's a lot of bones, like there's a rib cage, there's a skull, there's a couple of arms.
Do they look ancient or fresh?
Oh, they look quite ancient.
Oh, okay. Thought maybe this might have been a lair for something.
If it was abandoned long ago.
Okay.
And
guys, does anybody have any light?
Yeah, Rex has lights built onto his power armor.
He'll double tap his head and the lights go up.
Okay, the room is brightly illuminated. Everywhere you step in this room kind of brings up a little puff of disintegrating flooring of some kind with a harder material underneath it. There's the aforementioned bones here and there, the 4 tables, and some kind of chamber with a broad opening just beyond it.
Start checking some of the skeletons, see if there's anything amidst them. Anything we could use.
Nope. These look like they were looted long ago.
Okay.
Check out the entrance to that antechamber or whatever.
Okay. So this chamber is about half the width of the outer chamber. It's maybe 2.5 meters deep, and there are cabinets and a counter lining the back wall of it.
No bones on that counter or nothing?
No.
All right, we'll take a look at the cabinets on the other side.
Okay.
So does Chris.
I'm covering them with my short bow.
All right. Most of the cabinets contain various ancient odds and ends. There's something that looks like a very broad glass jar that's intact with a narrow neck and what looks like a spout for pouring on it. And fitted around the neck is a handle of some unknown black material. They decay to dust if you pick them up to handle them, but just to the right of that, there is a stack of what appear to be paper cones of some kind. In another cabinet, though, there is a device that you recognize as a weapon. What kind of weapon it is, well, you're not entirely sure. It's matte black. And it is obviously broken. There are pieces that just look like they shouldn't have been removed that are on it, and they are not obvious. Or it is not obvious where they are.
Well, take it for spare parts. Somebody throw it in a bag.
Okay.
Do any of those paper cones appear to be worth carrying, or they all crumble?
Let's see.
You guys realize we just found a coffee maker in the first cabinet, right?
It's Mr. Coffee.
So there are 4 of them, and they're on the very bottom that appear to be worth using.
Okay, Chris will tuck those into his pocket.
Okay.
Save them for later.
Alrighty. In another cabinet, it's almost completely empty, but you just catch it as you're getting ready to close. On the upper right shelf, there is something cylindrical and bright red, and maybe 80 or 90 centimeters tall and 50 centimeters or more in diameter. Not centimeters, millimeters. 80 to 90 millimeters tall. Stupid communist measurements. It's about 3 inches tall and 2 inches in diameter, and it appears to have a handle. And resort to freedom units.
I guess Chris will attempt to pick it up or pull it off or whatever it's on, whatever.
Yeah, no, that's easy enough. There's ancient writing on it.
Ah. Chris
Do
tries
you?
to read
Okay.
it.
Yeah, it takes you a few minutes. You kind of stumble over it, but what you determine is it says, you don't have to be crazy to work here, but it helps.
A message from the ancients.
Magnus took them.
I take it over to Rex and show it to him. What does it mean?
Rex, yeah, you can. Give me a percentile dice roll.
Ooh, percentile dice. Okay.
Yeah.
75.
You've seen something. Yeah, this you can get these through the office catalog. It's just, and then just the thought you were formulating just fades away. You're like, oh yeah, it's just a joke. Coffee. Why do I know that? It's like it is like being in a pool of water and trying to grab something that's just out of your reach. Your fingers touch it, and yet trying to grasp it, it slips away.
I think it was something the average person would have at work, but I'm not sure. I remember complaining about not washing it, but I can't remember what it was for.
Chris will tuck that into his bag too.
Okay. So you've got another door to go through. Well, you've got 2 other doors to go through, and they're down on the right.
Chris heads that direction.
Okay, so looking down the hall, you have a closed door on the left and an opening on the right.
Okay. Are there clowns in both of them?
No.
Jokers or clowns? Okay.
No jokers or clowns.
Stuck in the middle with you.
I guess we'll try the right-hand side first.
Okay. The door is still there. It's just lying on the floor. Also, the door frame is bent out a little bit, and the majority of the inside of this room is dominated by something that can only be described as a giant bird nest. There are no eggs. It doesn't look ancient. It just doesn't look like it's been occupied in a while. There are tufts of beautiful, brightly colored fur that look like they've been caught here and again on the twigs and branches that make up this thing. And curiously, a few thin scraps of cloth. And additionally, There are buttons and buckles and zippers that look like they've been ripped out of clothing scattered all along the floor of this.
Does it
Oh,
seem
maybe our
like
buddy lives here.
Yeah. Anyone remember what his name was? Jasper or something?
Gerd probably remembered, but you know.
Jimmy's going to go around and just start collecting buttons, zippers, bits of cloth.
Okay. That's fine. You can get a good handful of that stuff.
Chris starts looking around in the nest itself to see what might be tucked away or
nothing of note.
Okay.
What was the name of that creature who was our buddy? I mean, they weren't Orlins.
It was the Axel.
Yeah, it was the Axel.
I just can't remember what his name was.
So Rex is going to turn on the external speakers to his suit and amplify it. Hello, Yaxel. Are there any Yaxels here?
If there are any Exel there, they do not immediately respond to you, no.
Just keep our eyes
I
out.
have clothes for you. Special clothes.
Yeah, nothing.
They're the really good kind.
I have that moon
No
suit
zippers.
Jimmy's also collecting all the fur that he can.
Yeah, that's just a few tufts here and again.
Is that for tracking purposes, or are you making a toque?
So
check out that door.
Yeah, let's check out the next door.
Okay, this is the last door on this floor that you have been able to access. Who's opening it? Because it is a completely intact door and it is closed.
Guess Chris will try it again. He's listening first.
Oh, okay. You don't hear anything.
Okay, now he'll try.
All right, you roll a d6.
Jimmy's behind him. Well, kind of at an angle with his short bow to cover him.
Got a 3.
Yeah, it's not budging yet.
All right, one more time. 3 again.
It's still not budging. Anybody else want to try? I mean, you can keep trying. I'm just.
I look at Rex because he opened it with one hand easily. So you know.
All right then, guys. Rex will step up and try to give it a go.
Yeah, roll a d6 and just don't roll a 6 or something.
2.
Okay, yeah. Rex just forces this thing open.
Guys, you can't give up when things get in your way.
Well, while Rex is dispensing this wisdom, and you shoulder the door open, there are 7 humanoid lizards, very tall ones, in this chamber. You are startled by them.
More importantly, are they startled by Rex?
Well, let's see. No, they are not. You guys, hammering on the door. You recognize these creatures. These are Sleeth.
Oh no!
Not Zeeth. Sleeth. They do not immediately teleport spores and seed pods into your privates. No, these are. You've heard of these creatures before. They're lizard-like reptilian. They're about 3 meters tall, which means they're kind of having to stoop over to see you. There are 7 Well, there's 2 full-size ones, one that's a little bit shorter, and then there's 4 small ones that are about as tall as Rex in his power armor. And those are kind of bunching up behind the 2 the 2 tallest ones who are holding out their webbed hands.
And Rex will say to them, "Hello, lizard people. Have you seen any Yexels?"
No, we have not seen any Yexels. We mean you no harm.
Excellent.
What do we know of these Sleeth?
These particular Sleeth,
in general.
Sleeth in general are quiet, peaceful beings. They live in small communities near water and woods. And they are very gifted thinkers and talkers.
Okay.
Oh, well, hello there. We are your new neighbors.
You have moved into this place of ancients?
Yes. Yes, we have. We have cleared it of the evil humans who wanted to kill all mutants. Made friends with Orleans, traveled to the moon, and now we're here to make friends with you.
He kind of... An interesting story, to be certain, but if you mean us no harm, then welcome. Tell me, have you seen the badders that were elsewhere in this place?
Oh, were they your friends?
He kind of makes this sort of coughing, hissing sound that you think might be Sleeth laughter. He says, "My ancient technology wearing human friend. Badders have no friends except for other badders. It is a mystery how they tolerate even their own presence long enough to breed. There are so many of them."
Well, yes, and as a gift to our new friends, we have evicted them, one might say. So you won't have to worry about them anymore.
This is very good. Yes. We came to the edge of the forested place. We have come from the north. Very much upset and disturbance there. But we have...
What's going on?
As is always happens, so it seems, with all respect to friend wearing ancient technology and others using ancient technology, so it seems that once again humans have acquired much ancient technology and are using it to expand their influence. But this is far, far to the north.
How far is far?
Perhaps 90 risings and settings of the sun as we walk.
So, based on their waddle and average stride size, Rex will try to do a little rough math in his head. But do you have any rough idea of how far north that would be?
What is Rex's intelligence?
13.
13. Roll a d20.
You can do it, Rex.
18.
No idea. 90 days walking, it's 90 miles, 900 miles. No idea.
He'll turn to the others. Sounds pretty far, guys. Did they force you to leave, or?
No, we think it better if we leave. Others stay, but we left. It is a large forest and safe enough. We will send a message back to others and hopefully encourage them to come here.
Were there any evil plants in that forest?
There are always plants to be avoided, yes?
Son of a... all right, thank you. What are you guys doing here? Setting up businesses? Farming?
No.
We could use some farmers.
Oh, my friend, we established a homestead just there, and he kind of points through a hole in the wall at a distant line of woods, just where the ground it begins to rise to the north. We established a farmstead there, and my younglings say, "Can we go see the building of the ancients?" And thinking perhaps we might find something useful here, we all decided to explore together.
Well, that is wonderful. If I could make a request, why don't you mark off your homestead so we know not to bother you? We wouldn't want people accidentally trampling on your area. And perhaps when you grow whatever it is you're growing, you might want to consider trading with us. We would be happy to send a reservation, happy to send a representative out to talk to you and maybe have some coffee cake and talk about our Lord and Savior Steve.
He gives you the odd look again and goes, "We will mark where it is to be our place and look forward to meeting these representatives." And what did you say one of them was named? Coffee Cake.
Yes.
We will greet Coffee Cake
Excellent.
with happiness when he comes or she comes to our homestead.
Kaffa will be pleased.
He bows so low as to touch his head on the floor. As for this place, we were making ready to leave, and the batters came. We know warriors can defend ourselves well, but the children are here. My mate is here.
I understand.
He is a shy, reserved fellow, you see.
Oh, okay. Now I see.
You've never seen a Sleeth blush, but you think the one that's standing next to the one who's speaking probably does, as right around here it sort of turns a bluish purplish color.
Say, have you been all the way upstairs?
No, we have not.
All right.
But perhaps we might like to. It would be a lovely view of all surrounding areas.
Well, we're on our way up. We're going to make sure there's no more batters up there. If you want to wait a few minutes, you might have a nice view of the nighttime sky.
Of course. Thank you. We must be returning home to our place of farming, but when you say it is safe, we should like to see from a great height. Normally, the old places of the ancients are so polluted with radiations that to come near them is to risk an unwanted mutation.
I certainly understand that.
Court's death.
Yes.
Well, and I'm sorry, what was your name again?
I am, and the Sleeth makes a bunch of clicks and hisses sounds with its throat.
Can I have recorded that on my personal data recorder?
Make sure to say hi to the missus now for us.
Is it okay if I just call you Chuck?
Let's see. That is not what I am called. So,
Right.
I must argue against it.
Oh, it's nice talking to you.
I'll just like lean slowly over towards Milo and say, I think I'm just gonna call him you.
Okay. So that was on. I said that was on the 4th floor that you explored.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. So the only things of note on the remaining floors on the floor immediately above you in a locker. I'm going to have to look this up.
Please let it be a Walkman with the CD flash dance in it.
I apologize. It is not. Rex, roll a D20.
12.
Come
on, bubble card.
What? Sorry, no. What is your intelligence again?
13.
Okay. You think you recognize this? It is a rod about this long, about that big around, and it has a series of buttons near one end that must be some kind of a grip. Thank you, Robert Phillips. Thank you very much. God bless you. I appreciate that.
So I will.
You want me to do something terrible to somebody?
Kill us.
Well, let's see. If I recognize it, it can't be that bad. Does it have? Is it hollow?
No. It's got some weight to it.
Would anyone like the rod of the ancient?
I'll trade you my sword for it.
My friend, it is yours. No trade necessary, as is custom for the ancients.
Okay. Oh. There's a series of buttons. Do you wish to try and...
Absolutely.
Hey.
Rex is going to take a few steps back.
Yeah.
All right. Roll a D10.
Say, Milo, you might want to get back here.
I'm used to these blowing up, so I'm definitely stepping back.
4.
A 4. Okay. You push a couple of the buttons and a green light begins to, it goes blink, 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 blink. And try again.
Absolutely.
All right. Press it again.
I rolled a 3.
Okay. As you're holding it, you notice that the blinking green light goes on steady when you point it at Rex.
I tap the other end of it to Rex to see if it does anything.
I take a step. Rex.
Yeah, no.
Is this thing making any noise?
All right. It is not. But when you start moving it towards Rex, there's a little flicker just below the green light. There's a tiny panel, maybe a centimeter wide and a centimeter high.
You mean a half inch by a half inch?
Yes. About half an inch by half an inch that flickers through a series of numbers, and when you almost get to Rex, those numbers go down to 0. When you pull it back, those numbers start to go back up.
This stick finds stuff from the ancients.
So it's not making like a clicking sound?
It is not, no.
Okay.
Jamie walks around just like pointing it around, seeing it, if anything else makes it light up.
Well, there's a couple more buttons on it. Do you want to try those?
Oh, why are you asking, man?
Roll a D10.
A 3.
A 3, okay. All right. As you you've kind of figured out what this little panel of buttons does. This has something to do very much with suits of powered armor. And robots. It may be tied back to your stronghold. But as far as Rex here goes, there's a couple of buttons that pertain to his suit of powered armor.
Oh yeah?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. One of them is labeled. One of them is labeled A. The other is labeled D.
Can I hit the D button and see what happens?
Sure. Rex, there's this sort of boom, boom, and everything goes dim inside your suit. Rex just kind of leans forward a little bit.
And he will yell from the inside, "Not funny."
I mean, you've got all of your switchology and everything is still up. You know, it just like you see everything go from on to off, and you can activate it again if you want.
So not only can the stick find power sources, but it can drain them?
Hit the other button.
It's a remote control. I'll hit the other button that has to do with his fire suit. Let's see what that does.
Okay.
Ejection seat.
Please.
Wow. Rex had just smeared all over the wall. Well, you said you had to leave for a little while, Yang. So
Canopy like goose.
No, that does not happen. Rex, you can still switch your armor back on yourself manually. It's just that whatever this is, it turns it off. Or can switch it on and off remotely. And it knows where powered armor is.
Oh. Well, guys, this may be a good thing. Perhaps we can find you all some powered armor with this.
Yes, that would be wonderful.
I shall call this the ancient finding stick.
Powered armor.
Powered hour.
Is there anything else in the room that we can investigate or?
Nothing in here, no.
Okay.
You do find one other item of note. Rex, you recognize this thing because you've found them before with the party. It is a it is a spherical object that has a gripped outer surface, and a ring is clipped to the top of it, and it seems to hold a push button in place.
Oh, it's those pineapple thingies.
They're delicious.
All right, guys. Just one or several or?
Let's see. Oh, that's in the word grenade is in the rule book many times over. There's just the one. Sorry.
Just the one.
Yeah.
Be attached to any wires?
Hey guys, look what I found. Click. No, it is not attached to any wires.
All right. All right. Whichever one of you new guys can prove to me you've got the stuff, I will give this bomb of the ancients. With this, you can kill all the batters at once.
What is your test, sir?
Ass kissing.
No,
I guess you win.
I'm not into that, but thank you. What's the strongest looking door I can find?
There's a closed metal door.
Whoever can open that closed metal door first. And go.
Chris will run as fast as he can to the door.
All right. Roll a d6.
Oh. Ooh, a 6. Never mind.
Yeah, it doesn't budge. Who's going to try it next?
Just for giggles, Jammy's just going to point the ancient finding stick at the door and hit buttons to see if it'll open the door.
It does nothing.
Okay.
That green light doesn't come on, though, does it?
No, it does not. How about numbers?
Sure.
All right, roll a d6.
4. Yeah, 4.
Doesn't budge. How about Barongo?
I'll try it, even though I don't really want it. I got a 2. Looks like.
Okay, you force it open, and you are surprised by the robot that rolls out of the door and swivels.
Stick does nothing.
Sort of rotates its head turned around, and a very grating metallic voice through a grill, and it just says, "Attention, intruders! Leave this place immediately. You have 0 seconds to comply." And that was Barongo that opened the door, right?
It was, yes,
Okay.
Barongo.
These things are so unreasonable.
The brave Barongo. We shall remember you, sir.
All right. So this ancient security robot is going to shoot at you.
Man.
Hey, now you got a place to try this grenade.
I wonder if the stick would control the robot like it does the suit.
Well, after you're done being scared out of your mind, you can certainly try that. This is kind of point blank range, so don't really have to worry about that. What I do have to worry about is
I have an AC at 2, unless, well, I guess I'm opening the door, so I don't have my shield, so it's 3.
okay. Yeah. All right. So let's see. It just it kind of scans you all. This eerie red beam of light just sweeps you all, and you hear this ka-chunk. A metal cylinder fires out, bounces off of Barongo's chest, lands on the floor, and a white gas proceeds to seep out.
I make my way for the door.
I want to put my gas mask on.
Well, you're all surprised, so
Yeah.
we're gonna be rolling for initiative in a minute, but that is so we'll just go down the line here. What is Jamie Dodger's constitution?
Constitution is 11.
Is 11. Okay. Jamie, you keel over and begin to cough and wheeze and choke. How about Christopher? What is
Got a 15.
a 15? I don't think that's gonna.
You so healthy.
Yeah, no, you just throw your arm, just Rex, Captain, I'm in a sealed environment suit. You're fine.
He's having flashbacks to the moon, though.
How about numbers? What is numbers, Con?
16.
You're fine. This is the worst 3d6 I've ever rolled. How about Barongo?
I'm also at 16. Thanks to
And
my rejuvenation.
Milo.
Milo has a 13.
A 13. Okay. Milo is fine. Okay. You open the door. It issued its threat. It fired some kind of smoking grenade. Jammy Dodger is going to spend this round coughing and choking. We'll recover in the next round. What is Christopher doing?
He's going to try to grab that cylinder and chuck it out a window or another door or something and get it out of the room.
What cylinder?
The
smoking cylinder. Well, it popped open and all the smoke billowed out, so it's not
he's just going to stab at the robot then with his spear.
Okay. Rex?
He is going to toss the grenade to Barongo, but he's not going to pull the pin.
Ting Barongo!
He's going to toss it fully intact to Barongo.
Okay.
And then ready his weapon.
Barongo, I don't know if Rex has told you, but there is a grenade arcing through the air towards you. What is Barongo doing? Okay.
I'm going to try to grab it, I guess.
Okay. And Milo, what are you doing?
I'm going to, I guess, shoot at it with the laser rifle and back towards the door.
The robot or the grenade?
The robot.
Okay. Just making sure.
Distracted.
All right, Todd, roll initiative for the side, please.
All righty, here we go. A D6, correct?
That is correct. Just
here we go. A 5, sir.
Okay, it's tied, so all stuff is happening at the same time. It pops off another grenade.
Did I have some advantage for my dexterity or whatever? I seem to remember that from last time.
Yes, you may act.
All right. Well, I'd like to move up to it and hack it with this newfound sword.
Okay. So that's 8, 9. Okay. It pops off another grenade. But you hack it first. Go ahead and roll your melee attack, please.
That's a 15.
I think that it's armor class 2. What weapon class is a sword?
That I haven't found yet.
I believe it's 3. Let me check mine. Longsword?
Yes.
Yeah, class 3.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Lost my place once again. Yeah, go ahead and roll some damage against it.
Is it a large or regular size?
It's large. We're gonna say it's large.
That'd be 10 points.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. You jam your sword in there and twist it around, and you get some sparks and some little bits fly off of it. So. All right. So you attacked. It fires its grenade. Unfortunately, Jammy Dodger, you get a nice minty lungful of ancient stun gas again. The rest of you may act.
Chris stabs at it with his spear. Class 1, got a 3.
Clink. All right, Rex.
He's going to open fire with his laser rifle. For 2. So.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ping. Numbers already acted. Barongo, the spheroid lands in your hand. What do you do with it? And I should point out, you guys are stacked up in a space that's about 3 meters long by maybe 2 meters wide.
Spread out, guys.
Yeah, I'm going to back up.
Okay.
And for the time being, I'm going to. I think I'm going to choke on this stuff or not? Does it seem like I'm okay?
It's very unpleasant and hard to breathe, but you're not choking right now.
Okay.
No.
All right. So I'm just going to back off. I'm going to try to move far enough away where I'm not like immediately in the vicinity of the robot.
Okay. And Milo, you were shooting, correct?
Correct. Here it comes. It's a 16 to hit. It's a laser rifle. That's 66 for damage.
And I'm still the only one hacking and coughing, right?
Yes.
Because
I'm still backing for the door.
I'm that awesome.
18 points of damage.
Yeah, you blaze away and draw a nice red hot scar across the chest plastron, and plastic melts, and a couple servos not working like they should, but it's still in the fight. All right, Jammy, what are you doing in this round?
I'm going to point the ancient finding stick at the robot and see if I can't take control of it.
Okay. How about Christopher?
Try another stab with a spear.
Rex, you going to shoot at it again?
Yes, definitely.
All right, numbers?
I'm going to hack it with the sword.
Barongo.
How far away are we from the... is this grenade too close still?
You've seen these grenades used before.
Right,
it ultimately comes down to your how you care about your friends.
Okay.
But yeah, if you roll it on the floor over towards them, lots of them are going to die.
Okay, so I'm going to put it away and pull out my laser pistol.
Okay, and Milo continuing zapping.
Yes, should be by the door now. I'm going to back into the hallway and shoot from the hallway.
All right. Remember to double tap, gents. Christopher, it is your initiative, I think. Is it, or did you already roll?
No, I got a 4.
You got a 4. The robot got a 4. Numbers may go first.
All right. Ooh, 17.
That will do some damage, yeah.
Hopefully. What's that? 9.
Wow, yeah, you follow up the blaze of laser energy across its chest plaster, and you're like, oh, flexible ribbon cables. Well, this should be fun. Jab, 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 jab. And it's now speaking very slowly. Intruders must surrender. It's still moving quickly. It's just talking slowly. Let's see. So we're going simultaneously again. It is switching over and firing a burst from a slug thrower at numbers. Just kind of brings this stubby riot gun over one shoulder. Kaboom!
I had one of those before that raccoon got me killed.
All right, you just duck, and all of you hear zinging around you in this hallway the angry sound of plastic flechettes as they ricochet off the floors and walls. Just bam! You may have done something to its tracking. Now you may all continue to attack.
Chris got a 10. That's a fail.
What? Yeah, that is going to miss. Yeah.
Rex got an 18.
That will hit.
Uh, 26.
Wow. Okay. I got to double check. The rest of you roll your attacks and let me know your damage, but that may definitely bring it down.
Do I roll a D20 or a D10 for my Stick of the Ancients?
Your Stick of the Ancients. That's right. You're using your Stick of the Ancients.
Might be a little late for that.
I think I broke Bill.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm just getting to the specific explanation of the control baton. You are not sure. It doesn't appear to be using like area effect weapons anymore. So maybe it's identifying you as command authority, but the rest of you, please please do your things.
Told you, I'm too pretty to hit.
I rolled a 2 for the third time in a row, so
Oh.
different dice, same result.
Yeah, I missed. I rolled a 5.
Okay.
I got a 20 this time.
Nice.
Oh, roll your damage.
Is that a large, did you say?
Yes.
6.
A 6. Let's see. Okay. It is actually still functioning. It's still up. Has more hit points than I had originally remembered. I was thinking, oh, it's got 48, but it's in really, really bad condition. It is once again aligning its big riot gun at numbers because he's right there. What are let me ask you this. What is Jammy doing? You pointed the rod at it. What are you doing?
I am hitting the power down button that turned off the suit. I'm going to try that on the robot. Just see if I can turn him off.
Okay. All right. Well, let's roll initiative for the next round. And I think we're over to Rex. Yang, you want to roll initiative?
1. There we go.
It goes first and it drawls out command override accepted. Power saving mode active. And its riot gun folds over on its back. Its grenade launcher hatch closes. And its remaining detention arm swings down.
Jamie puts the stick on his shoulder and says, "Jammy for the win."
Only if we get XP.
Yeah.
Rex is sweating in his suit, but he manages to say, "Excellent work, Jammy. I promote you to head of the newbies."
I'm so honored right now.
Chris looks depressed now.
It's all right, Chris. You'll get your chance.
I'll do my best, sir.
I'll point at the newbies and say, new 1, new 2.
Alrighty, so you shut this thing down.
Since there's damage done to it, I want to go up and see if we can salvage any of the weapons
don't do
out
it.
of it.
burnt me pretty good last time.
So you want to start trying to take parts off of it?
Yeah.
Rex is going to step
But
back.
if I was you,
All right. Well, it's got some parts that are sticking out of it, some components that are mounted directly on its hull, but largely, it's kind of a self-contained cylindrical unit. What do you want to try and take off of it?
You said it had a grenade launcher?
Yeah, something that was projecting the gas grenades out.
Definitely want to try to get that off.
Alrighty. Let's see. It is connected. Well, it doesn't seem to be so much bolted on as
it's just part of the main form.
Built into the main form. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I'll throw my arm around the robot and say, "This is my new road dog. His name is Chuck."
Is there any grease or anything dripping off of this robot, or?
There is not. No. No grease in the future. Sorry. Well, not for robots. Sealed liquid bearings and all that jazz.
Okay.
Worst case scenario, we have something we can send down the hallway at to find traps or creatures or whatever.
That could work.
Well, you know how to turn it off. Do you know how to make it move?
Well, of course. I wield the stick of the ancients. Of course I do.
Okay.
do your magic.
Oh, you want me to do it?
No, I, the game master, don't care. I'm waiting on you guys to tell me what you're doing.
I'm ready to hack that thing when it tries to rip him apart.
Yeah, I get ready to spear.
Okay, I turn it back on. And I say,
I'm gonna back up
come
some
with
more.
me.
Come with me and you'll see.
Okay.
Always.
That wasn't me this time, by the way. Luther, if you're out there watching, that's not my fault.
Is there anything else other than the robot in this room?
No, this is just some kind of storage room. Everything else in is just trash. Mo Howard, UHF TV, channel 33. I gotta hand it to you, person. Broke Mo Howard. That is a hell of a username. So yeah, no, it doesn't. There's nothing else after the fracas and the explosions and the shots. Up the stairwell, kind of leaning around, you see series of clicking noises and grunts. Head bob around. I trust you are all uninjured.
Yes, no problems. Thank you.
So far, so good.
May we come up now?
Wait, did he reactivate that thing or not?
Yeah, was I able to turn the robot back on to get it to do what I tell it?
Yeah, it powers back up. It's not attacking anybody.
I'd give it a couple of minutes.
Jammy for the win. All right, I'm just going to play with the stick with the robot to see if I can make him to move around or see do some experimentation to find out is it voice activated, whatever, while the guys search stuff.
It appears to basically it follows like if you point it and 3 meters that way, it rolls 3 meters in the direction you point it. If you in order to stop prematurely, just whatever.
Okay, well, the robot's name is Chuck.
Okay.
This is so awesome.
Let's uncheck down the hallway first. I guess we'll check the next floor. That should be the last door on this floor, I think.
Yeah, the just for simplicity's sake, I will tell you the following 2 floors are empty. There is nothing on them. And the topmost floor, you're not sure if it's wind from an ancient blast, if it was cleared out for a reason, but the floors seem to be almost scoured clean. And other than the central structure of the building and a few posts made of rusting metal, there is nothing on the uppermost floor. And you have a view all around. Just in the distance, you can see kind of the faint, maybe off to the south, you can kind of see the gray tops of the hills that your stronghold is located in. Maybe it could be well beyond that. You can see the thin line of the verdant green forest nearby. To the east and to the west is more rough plains and wasteland.
All Chuck needs is a bowler cap and he'll be set.
Okay. The Sleeth do follow you up, and they're oohing and eyeing and essentially communicating with each other in the Sleeth tongue. Hey, I can see my house from up here.
From our house. Our house is over there. Come pay us a visit anytime you want.
They bow deeply and stop to enjoy this moment in the late afternoon sun and bask in the glory of the sunset. So, what else do you guys wish to do?
Is there any way I could ride Chuck?
No. Well,
Okay.
hang on. Let me be fair about this.
Got a picture?
Well, I just want to read up on the stats of the security robotoid.
Because I could straight be Master Blaster riding Chuck's back, is all I'm saying. Who run board their town? Jamie Dodger.
I mean, it's got a tractor beam that it can pick you up with, but it's kind of like Big B's grasping hand. It's not really enjoyable. It just kind of wraps around you and picks you up. Hey, this is cool. Can you pick me up? Put me down! Put me down! Ah! Doesn't cause you any damage, but it is, like I said, it's not the Master Blaster on or Master on Blaster thing. And as far as just sitting on it or standing on it, it has protuberances everywhere.
Okay.
So it's going to be enjoyable, not just a ride.
So it is the toy that keeps on giving, is what you're
I'd like
trying
to
to say.
apologize to our audience for that. I'd like to, but I'm not going to. I'm sorry. What were you saying, Todd?
I was just saying it's the toy that keeps on giving.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to stay at least 3 meters, or in your case, 3 yards away from the floating, moving robot thing.
Okay.
Just in case.
Well, I guess
That's
I'll take in the sunset, and then as soon as that's over, I'm out.
Okay.
Back downstairs.
Alrighty. Well, getting back downstairs is easy peasy. I I'm sorry. What did we say his name was? Keith? Chuck.
Chuck.
Chuck is Chuck is stairs do not confront Chuck. He's able to glide right down.
Because Chuck's a boss.
Yep. There you go.
I, make small talk with the sleet until we hit the bottom, and then I guess we go separate ways. Man, I really wish we had that bubble car.
Rex says it was pretty great.
So how did you guys did you guys come out here on foot, or did you take the one functional ground car, or did you leave that with Steve?
I think I probably would have made them walk it out as part of their training.
Walked.
Okay. So it is a good stretch of the legs to get back to the fortress, and we're going to see. Uh-oh.
Everyone's dead.
Bum, bum, bum. A wandering photon grenade attacks you.
Outstanding.
Okay, so
I didn't need to see anyway.
as you are moseying home, you are about 2 hours into your walk.
This purple grass waves around in front of us.
Yeah. You all get extremely upset stomachs. Jim Ward doing body horror well before Alien came out. Let's see. Because we gotta at the very least have a bit of a cliffhanger encounter. So we're going to call this clear terrain, and okay. You're going on about your business, and you see sort of coming out from behind a hill, gracefully bounding towards you, are a group of rabbits. They are about 2.5 meters tall. Uh-oh. Did we lose somebody? There we go. There's this group of rabbits. They are bounding towards you. And they stop, and the one in front sort of does this. They've all got various carrying bags, carry-alls, pouches, knapsacks, and such. And the one nearest you touches his paw to his head, and you all hear him say, "Greetings, humans." And you recognize this creature. It is called a hoop. Well, they are called hoops.
Hoop, there it is.
Don't you know?
And they regard you. Get back in here, Milo. You're not running from the giant rabbits. They regard you thoughtfully, and the same one thinks at you. Are you interested in trading anything? Any weapons of the ancients?
What do you have to trade for?
Well, we have both gold and domars. We would like to purchase your weapons.
Swords and spears you can handle.
I'm sorry, you said the what?
All the swords and spears you can handle.
Yeah, he kind of twitches his bunny nose, which is like this big because he's a big giant bunny, and says, "No, it is weapons from before the great cataclysm." It kind of indicates your rifles and pistols and so on. It says more along those lines.
I think we're good. Thank you.
I could never get rid of Betsy.
They sort of hop out into a semicircle and say, "Are you sure? We have much gold and many domars." And he shakes a bag, and you hear a degree of clinking and chanking.
Check my pockets. What do I got here? Give that extra armor to last time.
I lean over to our fearless leader and try to whisper, "Do you want Chuck to gas these guys or what?"
And he will whisper back, "Keep him on standby."
Roger that.
Rex will say, "I have a comb. Will you trade for a comb? Would be good for your fur."
Ooh, he narrows his eyes at that and begins to chitter angrily. And we're going to end on a cliffhanger. So here's the news for both our audience and our players, and I won't shut up about it, so I'm sure you guys are aware. Next Friday, we will not be doing a Gamma World live stream due to circumstances that are at present around the Delver Dungeon household. I would say the following week I will probably be able to, but definitely not next Friday. Now, Yang, you unfortunately have to leave the group also, don't you?
Yeah, for a little while. I will be somewhere that I don't know where I am for the next couple of months.
I understand. Well, we'll keep you informed as to what is going on with Rex Dashington. Fear not. I am not one of those game masters who says, "Oh, you have to leave my game. I'll just kill your character then." I find it much more amusing to watch people collapse in front of me in a game when I kill their characters than just let them know, than to give them the comfort of distance. So we will return hopefully in 2 weeks to find out what is going to happen with this encounter with the Hoops. Hoop, there they are, will be the name of that episode. It won't.
Throw my basketball.
I can do a hook shot with my eyebrow.
It was great to have a full house this week. I hope everyone, with the noted exception, can be here at the next session. And we'll see you. I will be back on Monday and on Tuesday. Almost certainly not on Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. Kyle will be hosting on Wednesday, and he will be running Classic Traveler. We have openings aplenty in Classic Traveler. If you're interested in playing Classic Traveler, hit us up on the Discord. Yes, we have a Discord. Let me see here. Invite people. So if you want to play some Classic Traveler on live stream, Kyle has got a great game going on Wednesday nights. I truly regret not being able to be there because rather like this game, we've left that game on a cliffhanger, and I think Kyle will defreeze my character when I'm not there. So come on by and stop in and give it a try. It's lots of fun. We've got a Discord channel. It's called Wastrel Wednesday Live if you want to check out what's going on with that. So thank you everyone again for a wonderful evening, wonderful preamble, and I'll be back Monday to talk some D&D smack. Have a great weekend, everybody. Peace.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, all.
Good night, everyone.
Come play Traveler with me Wednesday nights.
Goodbye.